Okay, so when we're moving, Gambin again, the Protus. Let's just pick it up again. Moving, it's 2/3 down. So what did he say? If the chart would be helpful now for a moment. Let's wrap this up, and he gets to the avodah in a moment. So Yirmiyahu is going to post it. So let's remember the whole context of what we're talking about. It's to understand Esther and Hadasah, the two levels of Malchus. And to understand that, we have to understand Ponim and Ocher as the inner levels of Elikus and external levels, as it were. And he explained that in Elikus in order to explain that in the Neshamas. What's the Pnim of, that's what we're talking about, this Esther Neshamas Yisrael. So first he explained Etzem and Ispashtos, or Ponim and Ocher in Elikus. And then this is all to explain the way it is also in the Neshamas Yisrael. Because, and this is the critical quote here, the Yitzchayim, the bottom of the chart, that what is the etzim of the neshama? It's the nitzutz boire cotton. Mitachtis madrega tachtene shebeboire, that is from the lower level, as it were, of the creator, that's invested in a nitzutz cotton nivra, which is yechida. So yechida is the ocher relative level, but the etzim of the neshama is this nitzutz cotton of the Eibishter. Now, what madreg is this nitzutz cotton? So we traced it through l'chayra, and then omnom, and then ba'omek yoseh. This was all elaborating on the statement in the Yitzchayim that talks about Adam, Kadmon, and Neshamas. The conclusion, without repeating the whole journey again, is the third column, ba'omek yoseh, that the nitzutz cotton is not simply ak, but pnimius ak, which is the atik of Adam Kadmon. And we explained over the last few days the cardinal difference between atik and all other levels below it. I am, as opposed to I, fill in the blank, want, do, think, feel, etc. The I want is the highest expression of the I am, but it's already hispashtos. You want something. You want something else. The I am is the I am. The point is of the wanting of something else, because this that you want, that expresses the I am. That's the deepest rotzen, the rotzen pnimi, that expresses atik, the tainug, the I am. But that necessitates many ritzonis chitzonium, many external wills as means of an end to get to the fulfillment of the rotzen pnimi agenda, which is all to give expression to atik, the pleasure, the delight of being, the essential self. So atik is this essential expression of Hashem, and ak is already the Eibish's articulated rotzen, ano emloich. But why ano emloich? Because in Meluch the etzem is revealed. Atik is classically ano emloich. That's the deepest. That's the goal, the deepest articulated objective. But what's it all for? Because it carries through in the Ano Emlech, he says Galos Atzmos. That's where the essence will be revealed. Dafkin Malchus, Dafkin Lamata, Dafkin Aguf, Dafkin, all the Dafkas. So let's not get lost in all the words. So looking at the chart again, Ba'omek Yoseh at the top. So what is the essence of the Neshama? It's Atik, which is the lowest level, quote unquote, of next column, Abiyada Klolis, the Ein Sof Lifnei Atzimtzum. It's not on the chart, those words, but that's what Atzilus is in Abiyada Klolis. It's the Ein Sof, it's Eibishter, period. And the lowest level there, quote unquote, whatever lowest level means, again, that's Tzarech Iyun, but the lowest level, really, expression of that is Atik, the Ak, the essential I am, the essential Nisav HaKodesh Baruch Hu. So where is that expressed? That's expressed where? This is important to get. It's expressed in the lowest level of Atzilus, the Klolis, which is the Ein Sof. And what is that lowest level? saying lowest level, but it's all within the category of Ein Sof, for our purposes, Atzmius. What is that level? Atik. And that's when the Neshamas come. That's the Nitzut Beire Cotton. In Madrege Tachtoinish Beire. It's Atik, Pnimius Atik, which is the Pnimius, Pnimius of Ak, which is the Atik, which is the Pnimius of Adam Kadman, and the lowest level of the Ein Sof Lifnei Atzimtzu. Is that clear? The mechanics. It's the lowest level of Beire, and it's the essence of Ak. The essence of the Rotzana Elyon is Atik, is the I am, is the Nisave. Which in simple language means God is saying that, what's my desire? My desire is to be one with you. And this is a really atzmizdika desire, because we are one. That shamas are rooted in chelik alakami mamash atik. Atik the ak, not of. That's my essential desire, where I essentially reside and am expressed. And to carry out that kavanah is this whole elaborate ishtaushalus and history and everything else that follows. Now, continuing now, he's looking at the next column, which we're going to now wrap up in the Maamar. So the same is true, reflected again. Everything is reflected in the macro and the micro. It's all integrated. The entire revelation of godliness is all integrated. It's one Eibishter. It's a binary system, but the interplay of the binary system, Vulam, Bligvul, Oir, Keli, Pnim, Acher, is endless in its various particulars. The particulars change, but the core components in essence remain the same, and therefore all levels are reflected in all other levels, obviously or not obviously, overtly or covertly. So Atzilus, Seder Shtalshalus, Abiyad the Protos, as it's called, is the same thing. Atzilus is the Pnim of a Likus. And Atzilus, because Atzilus is Ikrais Chachma, without repeating the whole explanation that was yesterday. But that, since Atzilus is dominated by the Bittul of Chachma, Yichudi, Ilah, these words aren't in the Maamar, but this, what it means, and Bittul B'Metzius, so Atzilus, notwithstanding the clearly defined 10 spheres, Atzilus carries through the eye of the Eibishter. Atik. How? Because it's why rather? Because Atzilus is all dominated by Chachma, by Bittul, meaning Atzilus is nothing other than, not lost on the experience of Atzilus is the truth, that what is all of this? Is the Eibishter expressing himself in 10 spheres. The 10 spheres themselves have no value per se. It's all that's you expressing yourself. Whereas in Bria and lower, the 10 spheres themselves start to assume value. Chachma, Bina, these are valuable commodities, valuable attributes. In Atzilus, they're not valuable attributes. In Atzilus, they're likus. The value is that this is how Eibishter chooses to reveal himself. And therefore, all to say that Malcho, Esther, and Hadasah, there is Malchus, the way Malchus is in Atzilus, there she's called Hadasah. Hey, Dalet, Samach, with another Hey. The Hey, Dalet, Samach is an allusion to the primary Midas Chesed Gvur Tiferes. The final Hey, it doesn't say this in the Maamar explicitly, but it seems that's the Pshat. And Hadasah with the final Hey. You're not davening with us? The final Hey is Malchus. As you know in grammar, Hey makes feminine. Hadasah. So this is Malchus in Atzilus. But hey, we're just learning that what's Atzilus is a reflection of Atzilus HaKlolis, it's complete bittul. So there, Malchus, which is Neshamas Yisrael, that's the Pnim, is in a state of complete oneness and union with the Eibishter. And then this Esther, that's already Ocher, that's the Neshama descends into Bri, Etzir Asiyah, and finally to Anoichi Astir is Ponai, where in Elam Hazeh. The big news is Anoichi Astir is Ponai. my face is concealed, but not eclipsed. That even as the neshama descends into the guf, it retains its essential connection. Now we need to appreciate this. In stark contrast to Ishtalshalus itself. The neshama's descent into creation is not the same as tracing the whole process of ilu v'olol, cause and effect that gives rise to Ishtalshalus. Because there, the great tzimtzum between Atzilus and Bria causes a great divide. Finished. Yichud Ilah is there. Now starts a whole new Yichud Tata, Yeshes Bria. Bria means a creation. The big chiddush is that notwithstanding that the neshama descends into Ishtalshalus, on the one hand it descends in all the way down into the guf, it forever retains the chelik, the connection to the pnimius, the chelik alakami mamash is forever present. This requires further elaboration because on the one hand we say that Malchus is dibur, God's speech, the creative force, not the neshama. And the creative, the dibur component does go through this radical change, tzimtzum, and it's all the essence is completely, it's always present, but eclipsed practically for practical purposes. Bria does not, Yitzir and Asiya do not convey the atzmi. It's all the part of the project, the plan. It's the rotzen, it's all steps to get to a tachten, steps to get to a tachten. It's only the neshama, wherever the neshama is, doesn't matter where the neshama is. Not lost the neshama is you, and atzmos invested in you. So even though they're both associated with Malchus, what's there both? The creative force, God's word, and the neshama, but without going into whatever hesber there is, it's not the same. There's external speech, that's the creative force, and the ilu of olos which follow, and then there is the etzim of Malchus, which is neshamas Yisrael, ano emelech, my desire to be king. That's the ano, the I is invested dafka in neshamas Yisrael. Bottom line is, we need to know, this is the Maimon is saying, you need to appreciate, at least grasp this big chiddush, that even though the neshama descends from its lofty place, it never loses the essential connection. And that's not true of Ishtalshalus. Ishtalshalus is creation. It's Yesh Ma'ayin. Certainly, it's starting a Bria, and certainly the Gashmis of Elam Hazeh. Ishtalshalus is forever the means for the end. And the neshama is forever, I mean you. It's you that I want. No matter what condition you're in, no matter what world you are, it's forever you. So let's see inside. Mizem moving gambini. Yeah. Mizem moving gambini gel latzilus aprotis. Shegam svidis amalchus beyoseb atzilus b'chinas pnim. So since as we're explaining, atzilus is dominated by chachma, by bittul, all of the levels they're suffused with that, even the lowest level malchus. And therefore, that's pnim, reflective of atzilus haklolis, which is pnim in the broader sense, beyond the ishtalshalus altogether. Are we following all of this? Huh? If there's any particular questions or something that's not clear, please ask. Again, why is atzilus called pnim? We said before, because it's all suffused with this bittul b'metzias of yichudi ilah, which is what chachma conveys, as we explained. Chachma is the completely bottle keli, you can use the word keli, for the truth of hu levadai, as the Alter Rebbe says in the famous Hagah. Where's that Hagah in Perek Lamed in Tanya? The Doyer Insof finds expression in Chachma because of its bittul. So since the supernal Abba, which is Chachma Ilah, rests, this is all Kabbalistic language, in all of Atzilus, in other words, all of Atzilus is suffused with this truth, that this is nothing other than the way the Eibush has chosen to express himself, but it's all Eibushter. So gam b'chinas hamalchus, even the lowest level of Atzilus, that truth is expressed. Lachein gam hamalchus nikras b'shem ponim. Therefore, malchus is in Atzilus is called ponim, and that's the madrege of hadasah. Now, up to v'oidzos, and that's the main point. V'oidzos shegam b'hadasah b'biyah nikras b'shem ponim. The neshama never loses its ponim. I mean you, I want you, because you are a part of me. And because that's it, here's an important point I'm going to say now. Oir, ishtalshalos, overall, is oir to begin with. And oir undergoes all the changes that it undergoes. Ilav olol, seichel, and biddes is transmutations and changes of form and level. Higher and lower, closer, further. Even though here's a whole beer in Chassidus that the change is external, but this change, where there's no changes in the Neshamas Yisrael, forever a yid, forever that taindug, that atypic. Why? Because the Neshamas Yisrael is a atzmi, and etzem built in mishtana. Essence doesn't change. Essence is forever essence. Therefore, the neshama, no matter what level it is, the Pnimius remains. A yid is forever a yid. That's what he's saying here in these elaborate words, Kabbalah and Chassidus. Continuing. Shigam b'didasa, therefore, b'biyah, nikras b'shem ponim, even as he descends in biyah. Shezah ma shenemar, v'anochi hastir astir ponai daik. Concealed, but my ponim is there. Given shenasis atik lebriya, atik dafke. He seems to be saying here that as the neshama descends from Atzilus into Biyah, into Bria, what is it? What level is it carrying through? The Atik property. Atik debris. Malchus becomes Malchus here, and our purpose is in the Neshamas Yisrael, not the word of creative force, but Neshamas Yisrael. It's Atik the Daike. And because it's an Atzmizdike property, it's maintained throughout. Al derech hambal liyel shebechinas hachlin, that seal is the klolos. Like I said before, that the lowest level of that seal is the klolos, which is, in the words of the Yitzchaim, darage tachtene shebebei, the lowest level of the Creator. What is that? It becomes nasis atik l'odom debriya. And atik is an atzmizdika expression against the I am, debriya the klolos. And therefore, that is the true ponim. And since that is now connected to Bria, both Bria the Klolos and Bria the Protis, Atik the Bria the Protis, that's what the Neshama is. Therefore, it carries this Atik, the I am, the Atzmizdika property through all of its descent. Is that clear? The Neshama is an Atzmi. That's what Atik means. And it's an atzmi wherever it is, it retains its essential ponim, pnimizdike connection. It's only a question of revealing it. Okay. Again, what is Sarich Iyon is to clearly understand the difference between, we're saying the neshama, malchus of Atzilus becomes atik the bria, and we speak in context of neshamas, as opposed to Hashem's creative word, which is also called malchus, which also becomes atik the bria. I mean, it goes through the system, but it's oir, and it loses the essential characteristic. Why? Because then we shift into the means for the end, the actual creation, which is not what God desires per se. It's all in creation. I'll have a connection to you. But it's when I'm saying the tzarich iyon, when it needs a beer, is we're using the same names, malchus, atik. It's not the subject of the maamar to make that distinction, I'm just pointing it. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm asking or saying? Okay, if not, it doesn't matter. Ois Vav. Vihyne. Just to point out something on the chart, which we didn't. So the last column on the left is to carry through what the Maamar is saying and complete the idea. As you can see, Atzilus is dominated by Chachma, Bria, Bina. In other words, the four Oilemes are not simply, we've explained this, we give Mashalom for this, the same 10 Sviras on lower and more dimmed levels. They have a different oifi, a whole different character and relationship with God overall. Atzilus, all of the 10 Sviras, even Chachma, even Malchus, which is the point here, is suffused with the bitl of Chachma. All of Bria, the Iker is Bina. So Bina begins already subjective. Begins already, as you said before, the union of Kalim starts in Bina. Garmoyu starts in Bina, according from the Ramez. What dominates Yitzira is the lower levels of the 10 Sviras, Zoh, the Midas, and what dominates Tasiya is mainly Malchus, God's word. Clear? As we've discussed many times. Remember the mashal I gave you of someone looking at a painting, looking at the same painting. Can you fill in the blanks of the mashal? And tell me, a mashal, if I see Yitzira, Bri, and Atzilus. There are four people looking at the painting, and they're all, have four different takeaways or descriptions or impressions. So, the first one, the lowest, I see it, Maisa B'Pearl. So what's he marveling at? The material of the painting, the acrylic and the canvas and the gashmis of it. That's amazing. Then the second person looking at it, what moves him? The emotional experience that the painting evokes. The third person looks at it, and what does he see? He sees talent. He sees the great talent, the chokhmah, the talent of producing such art. Included in that, we might add, I mean, there's different kinds of art. So this is a whole world of art disciplines and art forms, a whole academic study. You know, you go to school to learn the different art forms and what they express. The seichel shebedavar. And what is the one the fourth person see? He sees the artist. It's the same thing, and they're all true. And there's nothing, what everybody's saying is true about this painting. It's all a question of perception. So likewise, the four Eilemes, maybe not speaking places and levels. Again, we're sheichni bata chaymer. We dwell in houses of chaymer. So we can only think in spatial terms to a large degree. But the objective is to try and think conceptually, and that is tremendous. That's Yigias Bosov, Yigias Nefesh. It's toil, as we read recently in Ayem Yoim. Okay, continuing now on Ois Vav. It's part of what his bonus is. The haskola component of his bonus is okay. He understands the Maamar, the mechanics of God doesn't take too long. What's these bonus? His bonus is to strip it from the words of the Levi Yisrael Bedichev of its gashmius imagery and the Inyan Eliki to understand and feel, sense. Okay, Ois Vav Vihyne Beis Madreges Hanal Ben Neshama. So the two levels of Neshama, Hadasah and Esther. In simple terms, Hadasah and the source, Esther, the Neshama descends into the world. Okay, that's the in 2 words what he's talking about. We just identified the source and all of its nuance. So these 2 levels are reflected in the 2 primary names of a Yid, which are Yaakov and Yisrael. Yaakov is what? Yud Akev, a Yud, and then the word Akev, which means a heel, implying that the neshamas descend, the lowest levels of the neshama, as the neshama descends, it's 2 things. A, the lowest level of the neshama, the heel level, and also as the neshama descends into the guf. That's the lower levels of the neshama, which is what descends into the body. Yisrael, and the word Yisrael is, as it says in the Pardes, is a combination of 2 words, li, rosh, and to me is a head. It's also implied in the simple meaning of why it was called Yisrael, Kisarisa. He prevailed over man and even over an angel. The Malach told Yaakov, again, that's an elevated level. That's B'chinas Roisha b'neshama. So there's 2 levels. There's the head of the neshama. That's reflected in the name Yisrael, and the lower levels, the regel, the foot of the neshama, that's reflected in the name Yaakov. And the matter is as follows: Ki yadua, as it's known, sheloi kol neshama mislabeshes beguf. The entire neshama does not fuse with the body. A physical, finite, limited body cannot contain the entire uncompromised neshama. But because came mimalach, and much more so, we can understand this by appreciating an angel. That an angel, the Gemara says, in Chulm, we went through this Gemara, but once explained it in detail. Shomra Chazal malach b'shlish olam Oimen. Only a third of the angel can be in the world. And it contains a third of it, as it were. It's several pirushim in the Gemara, but that's one of the pirushim. Now, that's an angel that's bigger than the world. Neshama is for sure neshamas. We don't mean bigger in size, obviously. How much more so neshamas cannot be contained by physicality, for their level is far beyond the level of angels. Angels are created divine beings, and the neshamas, as we're learning now, is the madrege tachtoine shebebeire. The words of the h'tשכ. So certainly, so certainly the body cannot contain the guf. So what level of the neshama is invested and fused with the body? Now, present in essence, but we're talking about in manifestation, fusing with the body. It's not somewhere else, the essence of the neshama. As I was saying now, that the panai is present, but behester. When you say mislabish, that's why I use the word fuse. Fuse means fuse and enliven. The body is enlivened by the soul. What level of the soul enlivens the physical body? The lowest level of the neshama has undergone tremendous tzimtzumim, ha'orah. So what level is contained and enlivened and fuses and becomes one? The body is alive. It's not a machine that's being propelled by energy like your phone or your car. The body is a living entity. It's islapshus. So what level of it is that? That's the level of the regel. What's the regel? The leg of the neshama. The lower levels of nefesh, ruach, neshama, which generally nefesh is behavior, ruach is emotion, neshama is seichel. That's all the category of what? Of Yaakov. So we daven 3 times a day corresponds to these 3 conscious levels: intellect, emotion, and behavior. The avodah of shachris is b'seichel. The avodah of mincha is the ikar midas, Eliyahu Novi, and Ma'ariv is the tally of the day, what you performed. Cheshbon HaNefesh. So it's this mislapish meguf that's fused with the body. But then there's a level of Yisrael, li rosh, as we said before from the Paradis. That's the rosh ben neshama. That's what the Gemara talks about in the story there with Daniel. You know the story. So fear fell upon them because of the angels, even though I didn't see the angels, but who did see the angels? Their mazel saw the angel. They saw. That's the level of the neshama that is not consciously fused with the body, but connected, and therefore the neshama there sees it, and it caused a fear, but don't know why, of those who were with Daniel. Also a great dread fell upon them, but they weren't even consciously aware of the presence of the malach. Mazlayu chazi. His mazel saw it, meaning his source. Mazel means to drip down. Noizal milavana, to drip down, the source that drips down into a level below. That's pnimis haneshama, pchinas aponim. Okay, so he started to explain now. There's the madrega of Yisrael, the madrega of Yaakov, and we'll continue this in Avodah in the next paragraph, Be'ez Hashem, tomorrow. Now, tomorrow will be on Zoom only, Be'ez Hashem at 6 o'clock.